is Toyota's CEO questioning the legitimacy of EVs. Toyota's CEO has stirred controversy by expressing strong reservations about electric vehicles, leading to outrage among EV manufacturers and excitement among combustion car enthusiasts. While it may seem contradictory for Toyota to promote EVs while its CEO appears to be against them, the reality is that global leaders are pressuring the company to adopt EV technology. Nevertheless, behind the scenes, Toyota has been quietly experimenting with a groundbreaking alternative fuel that could potentially disrupt the entire EV movement and safeguard traditional combustion engines from being phased out. The skepticism of Toyota's CEO towards EVs raises questions about what the world might not want you to discover regarding electrification. Furthermore, the timeline for the release of this alternative fuel remains unknown. The origins of this controversy trace back to the days of Akio Toyoda, the former CEO of Toyota, who faced dismissal due to his reluctance to fully embrace EVs. This raises the question of why the CEO of one of the world's largest automakers would resist a trend many consider inevitable. Akio Toyoda asserted a proactive stance, aligning himself with a silent majority of automotive industry leaders who harbored doubts about the wisdom of an EV-only future. He consistently advocated for a holistic approach, promoting the exploration of multiple powertrain technologies, including hybrids, plug-in hybrids, hydrogen-powered vehicles, Toyota's confidential fuel solution, and, yes, battery electric vehicles. He emphasized that those in the automotive industry, who form a silent majority, were unsure if relying solely on EVs was the right path, even though they recognized it as a prevailing trend. In his words, we shouldn't limit ourselves to just one option. While many were leaning towards EVs as the exclusive path to achieve carbon neutrality, the real adversary wasn't the type of powertrain, but carbon emissions itself. The world was taken aback when the new CEO issued a stark warning to global leaders regarding the repercussions of banning internal combustion engine cars, which we'll delve into later. According to Toyota, battery electric vehicles were not the solitary answer to global carbon neutrality objectives. Instead, they advocated for a diversified portfolio that included hybrids, plug-in hybrids, BEVs, and fuel cell vehicles. Although one could argue that the CEO's background in producing combustion engines played a role in this perspective, he also raised valid concerns. One of the CEO's main concerns was the impending scarcity of vital materials such as lithium and battery-grade nickel, which could lead to potential supply chain challenges in the next decade. Additionally, Toyota expressed reservations about the pace at which regulators expected the universal adoption of all electric vehicles. They cited potential roadblocks, including infrastructure limitations, varying consumer preferences across different regions, and pricing hurdles. It's crucial to note that Toyota, under the CEO's leadership, did not outright reject electric vehicles. The company allocated a significant $70 billion over 9 years for electrified vehicles, although this amount appeared modest in comparison to some competitors. Toyota's emphasis was crystal clear. They aimed for diversification, striving to offer a wide array of powertrains to cater to a diverse customer base. However, an unfortunate turn of events occurred when Akio Toyoda was ousted from his position. Electrification was a subject of concern for the 66-year-old grandson of Toyota's founder. He didn't merely act as a CEO, he embodied the core values of the company. His vision was to empower the average person to choose what they truly desired, rather than imposing electric vehicles on everyone. However, this perspective caused Toyota to be labeled as one of the most resistant companies in the world in 2022, aligning it with industry giants like ExxonMobil. To underscore the disparity, Toyota's initial EV, the bZ4X, encountered safety recall issues during its launch. While numerous automakers boasted double-digit EV sales figures, Toyota's contribution to zero-emission vehicle sales in the U.S. was less than 1%, amounting to just around 1,200 units during the initial phases. The former CEO explained that his profound love for traditional cars limited his ability to embrace digitalization, electric vehicles, and connected cars. He openly acknowledged his attachment to traditional automotive values. Enter Koji Sato, who was expected to steer Toyota towards a future dominated by electric vehicles. However, shortly after assuming his role, he uttered something that sent shivers down the spines of EV enthusiasts worldwide. While Sato expressed a desire to accelerate EV production, he also stressed that Toyota would maintain a dual focus on their innovative fuel source, which they had been developing. More details on that in a moment. During the company's annual general meeting, Toyota faced substantial pressure from shareholders urging a more aggressive transition to EVs. Toyota's response was unequivocal. Their primary goal was carbon neutrality, not just the widespread adoption of EVs. Executive Vice President Masahiko Maeda underscored that Toyota aimed to offer a broad range of vehicle options, challenging the demands of shareholders. In In defiance of these pressures, they continued to introduce hybrid vehicles. Nevertheless, it appears that European investors and American hedge funds do not share the same vision. The Danish fund was one of the prominent voices expressing their apprehensions. This fund took a proactive stance by challenging Toyota's actions, particularly in questioning the company's negative climate advocacy. They accused Toyota of attempting to undermine government initiatives aimed at phasing out combustion engines in favor of EVs. These concerns were echoed by other influential entities such as AP7, the Storebrand Group, and the Church of England shareholders. This growing discontent was not limited to corporate circles. Environmentalists and the general public also joined in, with notable protests even taking place at Toyota's headquarters. Greenpeace Japan, for instance, organized a protest demanding an end to the production of fossil fuel cars. Toyota's reputation within environmental communities took a noticeable blow, particularly due to Greenpeace's low rating of the company in their 2021 annual analysis of global automakers' decarbonization efforts. While Toyota did set a target of selling 3.5 million battery EVs annually by 2030, it still lagged behind its competitors in terms of the proportion of total sales that were EVs. Despite Toyota's consistent leadership approach in the transition to electric vehicles, it was clear that internal and external pressures were mounting. It's essential to highlight that Toyota was not the only company taking a stance against EVs. Others such as Stellantis, BMW, Porsche, Honda, and Mercedes shared a similar sentiment. The CEO of BMW, for example, cautioned against an exclusive focus on EVs, citing concerns about increased dependence on a few countries, particularly given the control that China exerts over the raw materials for batteries. He emphasized that there remained a market for combustion engine cars, especially for individuals unable to make an immediate transition to EVs. Combustion engines could serve as an alternative to older, potentially less efficient vehicles. Furthermore, Carlos Tavares, the head of Stellantis and Jeep, also warned against a rigid ban on combustion vehicles, highlighting potential social consequences that could prove unmanageable. Relying solely on EVs, which were currently more expensive than fossil fuel or hybrid alternatives, might render car ownership unaffordable for many, with a particular impact on the middle class. On the other hand, Honda's CEO, who has spent over 3 decades in engine development, openly acknowledged that while the transition to new technology might personally feel intimidating, decisions must be guided by what's best for the business. Now, here comes the headline that could potentially revolutionize the world of electric vehicles: the introduction of Toyota's ammonia engine. Yes, you read that correctly. This engine, developed in collaboration with another company named GAC Motors, offers solutions to the challenges posed by traditional combustion engines. What's even more remarkable is that it can be retrofitted into existing internal combustion engine cars. This means you can continue to use your current vehicles without the fear of government bans. Ammonia, composed of 1 nitrogen and 3 hydrogen molecules, presents a promising avenue for internal combustion engines due to its lack of carbon atoms in its structure, which inherently results in low CO2 emissions when burned. The prototype developed by GAC in partnership with Toyota can run on liquidized ammonia, a capability previously restricted to ships and heavy machinery. The revelation that a 2-liter, 4-cylinder engine can generate 161 horsepower with a staggering 90% reduction in carbon emissions is truly groundbreaking. This concept has the potential to redefine the automotive industry by significantly reducing emissions. To further support this counter-narrative, Toyota has initiated tests on a vehicle that garnered global attention during a recent endurance race at Suzuka Circuit in Japan. Toyota's new CEO, Koji Sato, addressed the company's stance on electric vehicles and hydrogen cars while recognizing the importance of Toyota entering the electric vehicle market. He also stressed the significance of maintaining hydrogen as a viable option for the future. He suggested that for hydrogen to play a substantial role, there must be an evolution in the production and transportation supply chain for hydrogen. Although Toyota is undeniably moving toward electric vehicles (EVs), with plans for a dedicated EV platform by 2026 and a goal of selling approximately 3.5 million EVs globally by 2030, they aren't ready to abandon the idea of hydrogen. Sato's comments hint at a broader vision where Toyota wants to be prepared for various potential future energy scenarios. In alignment with this, they are currently testing their new hydrogen racing fuel cells, which promise both efficiency and power. Toyota introduced their latest foray into green technology, a Corolla powered by liquid hydrogen. marking the entry of hydrogen-fueled vehicles into the world of auto racing. The hydrogen-powered Corolla participated in the Super Take-You 24-hour race at the Fuji Speedway, symbolizing Toyota's commitment to green technology. However, it's important to note that the race car is more of an experimental venture rather than a commercial product at this stage. Unlike conventional EVs, the hydrogen Corolla employs a combustion engine, burning liquid hydrogen instead of gasoline. Despite criticism for their gradual approach to electrification, Toyota's newly revealed roadmap is ambitious. They envision EVs with an impressive range of over 600 miles by 2026 and approximately 900 miles beyond 2028. The first of these next-generation EVs will be launched under their luxury brand, Lexus, featuring cutting-edge lithium-ion battery technology. Toyota's future goals also include the implementation of gigacasting technologies to expedite vehicle production and the achievement of ultra-aerodynamic car designs. While their focus on electric and hydrogen technologies is evident, Toyota isn't abandoning internal combustion engines. They plan to continue developing these engines, ensuring a diverse range of offerings for consumers on a global scale. The question remains, should Toyota completely relinquish internal combustion engines, or do you support their pursuit of alternative solutions to address the energy crisis? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to check out our recent video on groundbreaking news that could impact the entire EV industry if you're interested in some surprising revelations.